Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the A3 of Dreams, a bit of a sort of buyer's guide or common problems. We're going to go through everything that you might find is going to be an issue if you've got one of these or should you wish to buy one of those. We're going to be talking about a few of the things that have gone wrong with mine personally and just in general, and this will cover A3, S3 and RS3 because a lot of the problems are on all of those cars. Right, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is this. Now this trim bit, I don't know if this is just black editions, but effectively if you've got this piano black trim, the likelihood is that yours, just like mine, has sort of faded out to a bluey purple. Now this is something that could probably be an easy fix, so make sure you subscribed, and in a future video I'm going to wrap mine because I think that's the easiest and probably the cheapest way to fix this problem. Now you can get these on eBay, but people are asking about £100 for the 3-door set, and that is not something I'm going to pay. So another common problem basically, and this is again, it's A3, RS3, S3, no matter what you've got, if you've got an A3, one of the common problems is that this is going to drop effectively. So if you can just see there, mine has actually dropped. I have fixed it, but it has before taken off some of the paint. So yeah, this is a really common problem. It is quite an easy fix. Basically what you need to do is take this off and you need to get a gear puller. Basically just pull it out, it's on like a spline. If you just put it up a spline or two, put it back on, tighten it all up, it should fix itself. The only downside to this is it will then wipe too far. So if you look at this, you can see because my car's quite dirty where it wipes to. It still sort of stays on the glass, so it's not like it's touching paint, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to take it round another spline. Anyway, we're going to get back in the car because it's raining and we'll take you through some of the problems on the inside of the car. So like always in England, it started raining, but that gives us a good opportunity to come inside the car and I can show you some of the problems that you might have inside the cabin. Things like engine lights and air conditioning problems and stuff like that. So we will start with an absolute pinnacle of Audis and VWs and anything like that, and that is engine lights. And if you want to get an A3 or an RS3 or an S3, you better get used to start seeing these. So a lot of these cars, especially the one that I've got, which is a TDI, suffers from a lot of sort of sensor issues and stuff like that. So at the moment I've got an engine light on, which when I've read the codes is basically my MAF sensor. So unlikely that that's gone wrong, to be honest. It might have, but yeah, worst case scenario, new MAF. And then also I've got an EGT code. So because it's obviously a TDI, it's got a DPF. So a lot of short journeys or anything like that, and these start to block up, and that could be something that starts throwing codes on your dash. So I'll insert a clip here of what my dash looks like sometimes when you start it up, and yeah, you can have a look for yourself. So as you saw, in standard Audi fashion, lit up like an absolute Christmas tree. It doesn't actually usually do that, but for the sake of the video, it shows you what you're sort of dealing with these kind of cars. It brought up all sorts, like brake faults and everything. Really, all I did is turn it off, turn it back on again, and all those lights disappeared, apart from the two that are always there, like the engine management light and the coil light for my EGTs. But it just shows you how temperamental these things can be, and they just throw up anything, effectively. Right, so while we're in here, we might as well discuss one of the other common problems, and that is sort of the air conditioning system in these cars. So I believe this is just a problem with cars that have got dual climate control, but what happens is basically in a dual control you can do the passenger and the driver's side at sort of different temperatures and stuff like that. So you can have one side cold, one side hot. So if you're the camera woman wants to just show down here, so it means that basically when they're linked up, you'll see that they adjust together like that, and when you do it on the passenger side, you can have them on different figures like that. And if you need to then recalibrate them, press and hold the auto button and it'll put them back to the same temperature. So basically what goes wrong with these is there's a little motor that's sort of just behind the glove box on the passenger side, and that determines whether the car thinks it's on dual zone or everything's doing the same thing. And this motor can wear out, and there's a little plastic clip that can break. So I've got the replacement part for this because this is one of the faults on my car. Basically, even when it's on single zone, and both meant to be doing the same thing. The driver's side will be putting out hot air and the passenger side will still be doing cold air, and that's because this motor hasn't basically shut the flap to make it a single zone again. So I'll insert a clip here of this motor if I can find it, and yeah, that'll be something that we cover in a future video, ripping the dash apart a bit and fitting this part and hopefully fixing that problem.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Right, so another common problem with these cars is basically the wiring loom in the doors. Now, I don't know if this is sort of dependent on mileage or just how often the door's been opened, but what basically happens is that all the wires in there end up cracking and then eventually snapping. So that is one of the reasons why I got my car quite cheap, is that was basically all knackered. Now, once that goes, there's obviously a load of wires in there, but it's things like your central locking. So if the wire for the central locking goes, you can't lock your car. There's one for your mirror, so if the one for the mirror goes, you can't adjust your mirror and you'll also lose your indicator. And then things like your windows, your lights in the door and your speakers. Now on mine, none of that worked, okay? But again, it is quite easy. It's an easy little fix. If you can get down to a scrapyard or something and just get a little bit of cable, you should be able to do this yourself. So if you look in here now, just in there, those are all your separate wires. So there is quite a few of them. But yeah, basically what you need to do is find a door or something that has got all of these wires intact, take a cut effectively, and you can see there where I've soldered them up. But yeah, you need to get in there, cut them, solder them up to a new one, and then you should be all right. So like I said, that is quite an easy fix with a little bit of time, a soldering iron and a lot of patience. It is quite a tricky little job, but it's easily done. If you are looking at buying one of these, don't be put off because of that. If you can get some money off, because that doesn't work, it is probably, I don't know, less than 10 quid to fix it. So yeah, bear that in mind. So the last thing on the list is basically arches. Now this is a problem that it shares with a lot of Mark V Golfs and stuff like that. It seems to be really hit and miss, as it does on the Golfs, but yeah, another reason why I got this car so cheap is the driver's side. So the other side was really rusty. I don't know why the driver's side, if it is anything like the Mark V Golfs, there's basically a bit of foam underneath the kind of wheel arch liner, and that foam just collects water and just sits there and eventually rusts from the inside out. Now, it was covered by a 10-year paint warranty. Obviously, a lot of these cars are now completely out of warranty, so your best bet is to find one that's got a good wing and do it yourself. Again, this is something that I've already done. If I can find a photo of the car with the rusty arch, I will insert it here. And basically you can get them from breakers for about 80-90 quid delivered. Again, it'll take you a few hours. I did mine in a field, so it took a little bit longer, but yeah, it is very much a job that you can do yourself. You do have to take the bumper off and you do have to take the wheel liner out, but it's easy enough. Right, so if you have enjoyed that, please make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment if there's any sort of common faults or anything like that that I have missed. I will pin them in the comments, so anybody that needs to see them can go to the comments and see what else people have got to say. But yeah, since it started raining, sleeting, snowing, whatever it's doing, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and see you in the next one.